Well, fighting has resumed in eastern DRC. The talks that the Kinshasa government and the M23 were having in Qatar have not borne any fruits, and both of these two parties are back at war in different parts of eastern DRC. The latest being Walikale. Remember, Walikale is the point at which the M23 went back and repositioned its forces, saying that it is a gesture of goodwill to the DRC government for there to be talks in Doha. Right now, as we are getting reports, there is intense fighting around Walikale. The M23 is trying to push hard to retake Walikale. And in South Kivu, the M23 is also battling the Wazalendos in different positions who are trying to retake more territories from the M23. Well, that is the story that I'm going to tell you in this video. This is Bonafide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on the DRC crisis, you get notified as soon as possible. Well, sad scenes continue to be witnessed in eastern DRC, even as the hopes of many that there will be a final peace in that Doha meeting that the Kinshasa government and the M23 had to finally come to a table and agree on a peaceful solution in eastern DRC has yet again hit a rock. Because as reports are telling us, the M23 did not get their part of the bargain, and they are saying that the Kinshasa government was not honest in those discussions. Well, it is just the same kind of a blame from the other sides. The Kinshasa government are saying that the M23 did not hold up their part of the bargain. But what changed amid all this? One is the Kabila factor. Joseph Kabila having going to Goma changed all the stakes in this entire conflict, because the Kinshasa government saw the M23 as if they are trying to advance politically, as they are holding talks for them to meet the demands that the DRC government had given them. One of the demands was that they should let go of all territories and that all these military people, the M23 that comprises the M23, should be taken into a program by the DRC government for them to serve under the DRC government. Yet again, because this is a deal that had already been held before, years before, for the M23 to go into FARDC to work with the Kinshasa government. They are saying that is one of the requirements. The Kinshasa government is saying that is one of the requirements, as well as they are saying that all hostilities in eastern DRC should stop and that the Rwandan Defense Forces should leave the territory of the eastern DRC. Well, the M23 on the other side said that they wanted their comrades who have been taken to prison by the FARDC to be released. And this is now where the M23 has put out its word regarding the release of the prisoners. They are saying that the Kinshasa government did not honor that agreement for there to be a release of the people who are incarcerated who belong to the M23. They are saying that the Kinshasa government, yes, they released a few people, 5 of them, but these 5 people are not well known to the M23. They are not the people that the M23 wanted to be released from the prisons of the FARDC. And that led now to the collapse of the talks in Doha. And right now, we don't have any mediation of some sort between the Kinshasa government and the Eastern DRC M23. Right now, they are going back to the front lines. We have seen various footages and images coming out of the DRC government and the M23 going at it again to fight in different positions in Eastern DRC. Joseph Kabila, having gone to Goma, seems to have angered the high ranks in the Kinshasa government, including the president himself, who was saying that Joseph Kabila is among the people who are funding the M23, and him going to Goma seems to have ticked that allegation. And they're saying that Joseph Kabila now is part of the problem of what is happening in Eastern DRC. That move, that political move, was a scare to everyone in the high ranks in the DRC, because Joseph Kabila is a former president who had a lot of political support across the DRC, and most importantly, Katanga. And Katanga is a huge, vast area that no one will afford there to be an M23 influence or them saying that they are not part of the DRC government. And therefore, that is the move that perhaps made the Kinshasa government to see all these as a farce, that the M23 was not genuinely engaging them, that they wanted a different solution. And you know, President Tshisekedi has been all out saying that he doesn't want a diplomatic solution from this. He has been very adamant that the Kinshasa government will take over Eastern DRC through force. It is also important to note that there is a US factor in all this. The Kinshasa government has been wooing the US to come into the DRC. They gave them a minerals for security deal for the US to come into DRC to invest in their minerals. Of course, the US is going to benefit a lot from these minerals than the DRC government, but the Kinshasa government is very, very adamant that they need that US protection in their country. And they gave out that request to the US government, and the US government has really embraced that kind of a deal. They're saying that they are ready to work with the Kinshasa government to set up their companies in different areas and regions where there are these rare minerals for them to start mining these rare minerals. Of course, the Kinshasa government is going to benefit in terms of taxes, in terms of a little benefits from these minerals, but a huge bulk of these benefits, of course, are going to go to the United States. And in return, the United States is going to guarantee that there will be peace in Eastern DRC, because all of these minerals, these important rare minerals, are found in Eastern DRC. That is why the Kinshasa government has been very, very fast to put out this request. And of course, the US having agreed to this, the Kinshasa government sees as if there is no need to continue to talk with the M23, because the US special forces are going to guard their interests in Eastern DRC, including their companies. They're going to have that guarantee that there will be no looting of these minerals. There will be no attacks against the US interests in Eastern DRC, because if you attack a US company, then you're going to face the wrath of the US government itself. So that is the deal that the Tshisekedi government had put out to Trump, so that they will have that protection from the US. That seems to go their way, because the recent statements from the US give a nod to that kind of a deal. And perhaps that is the reason as to why Tshisekedi has seen it not very important to engage the M23 at this point. Well, I will continue to update you of the latest of what is happening in Eastern DRC. Keep it bona fide.